Hello, people, and welcome back to episode 3 of Broken Sword 5 The Serpents Curse, where you find us in Henri's office, which is where we'd toiled yesterday to get to, if you recall. Hopefully today we won't be interrupted by any histrionics from any any French bulldog. So apologies about that. The first thing to say today is to wish everybody who's watching a happy new year. Today is coming to you from January the 1st, 2026. So it's wishing anybody who's watching the video a happy new year indeed, and all the best for this year. So let's do a quick recap. So what did we learn yesterday? So we were out and about with Nico, weren't we, out at the front, trying to get Sergeant Moo out of the way, and we gave him a coffee that we got from our learned friend down at the cafe, which made him have a little accident and run off to the pissoir, which was just on the left-hand side of the gallery. We then got in and had a chat with Inspector Navet, who's a expert in blood spatter analysis for the French police, and got to know him a little bit, and then talked to George. And basically, used our feminine wiles with some tomato sauce and chewing gum to essentially fool Navet into losing concentration and allowing George into the office here. And that's where we ended up. Now, I believe we had a little look around before we were so rudely interrupted. So let's continue to examine the location here in the office and see what we've got. I think, as per my description yesterday, it was rather gaudily, arranged, as it were. So let's have a look at another look at the statue.
It was a statue of Henri.
So let's open up. I think we did this yesterday, but let's open up the safe.
I opened the compartment again
And have a quick look at what pops out from underneath the statue via the secret switch. So under the statue, there's a small sort of pop out drawer has opened, which seems to contain a safe. So let's have a look at the keyhole.
I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. I was fairly sure that even Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office.
So we can't open that because we don't have the key. So let's have a look round at some of the other stuff in the office. The lava lamp.
It was hard to tell if the lava lamp was retro or just plain old. Henri sure liked his clutter.
Oh, it's bad for your clutter. It's bad for your mental health. Let's have a look at the notice board.
Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk. A pair of evil eyes stared from a partially covered poster.
Now, what's nice about that is that here in the pile of junk that's set next to Henri's desk is a little Easter egg, and it shows a pair of sort of glowing eyes set in like an Aztec mask, which is actually from the cover of Broken Sword 2, The Smoking Mirror. So fans of the series will obviously recognise that as a nice little Easter egg. There's a wastebasket here. Let's see what that's saying.
There was a crumpled letter in the wastebasket.
Pick that up.
In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business. But now I knew where he lived.
Interesting. Right, okay. Let's take a look at this Hairy Lobsters Festival tour poster.
The poster advertised the 1975 Stockholm Music Festival, headlined by a group called the Hairy Lobsters.
What a name. Check out that clock.
It was a pretty flamboyant-looking clock.
Oh, there's a guitar here.
I didn't imagine Henri as a musician. Henri sure had his quirks.
Oh, he is a quirky boy.
The frame containing pressed flowers. The trinkets, the junk, the instruments. Henri was kind of a hippie at heart.
You don't say, George. Right, let's get into the real meat of why we're here. Let's check out the CCTV system. So this is on the top of the filing cabinet, just on the left-hand side of the door.
The CCTV system was ancient. It took individual shots and recorded them to tape. It looked like I needed to enter a passcode to view the recording.
Right, so we need to enter a passcode. So let's just escape out of here.
I needed to find a 4-digit number.
So around the office here, we have on the wall a calendar. Let's have a look at the calendar.
The calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day.
So, I don't think we need to be a numerologist to figure out that that's probably the code that we're looking for, 27th of May or 2705. So let's give that a try. Well, hey!
Bingo.
We
I
got it.
rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malediccio. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen.
So, what we have here is a antiquated television set that's obviously linked to the CCTV system that covers the gallery. So what we need to do is we need to fast forward and rewind the images on the CCTV system to look for, you know, points of interest. So the first point that we have, the CCTV camera is pointing at the painting which has Henri stood in front of it. So let's examine the scene and see what we can discover.
The image was a little fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail. I thought about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture.
Let's look at Henri.
Was Henri studying that picture, or did he look worried? There was definitely more to this robbery than I first thought.
Okay. So that seems to be what all we can look at from that particular frame there. So let's skip it forward.
Nico and I were taking a look at La Malediccio just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd.
So we can look at Nico.
It seemed that whenever Nico stepped back into my life, so did trouble.
Well, that's women for you, George, I'm afraid. You better get used to that.
The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail.
Okay, we've heard that before. So I don't think there's anything particularly noteworthy in this particular frame. It just has George and Nico stood in front of the painting. So let's go to the next frame.
A good view of La Malediccio. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. There was a certain presence about it.
So nothing to particularly note there. Let's go to the next
The killer
frame.
caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him.
So now we have an image of the thief raising his hands to take the painting off the wall. So let's look at the thief.
The CCTV had caught the killer in the act of lifting La Malediccio from the wall. He knew exactly which painting to take.
So I don't see anything else that we can look at. I think if we just click La Malediccio again, I think we just get the same stuff that George has already said. So let's skip ahead a frame.
The moment it all went horribly wrong.
Okay, so the next frame has shows the killer turned around from the painting, pointing the gun or the pistol at Henri. So he's got the painting under his arm, and there's a few things that we can examine. So let's look at the thief again.
There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out. The writing was just a blur. Why hadn't Henri backed down when the thief pulled the gun? If that was me, I'd have done whatever the guy wanted. The most striking
Oh, we've heard that already, George. So what we can take from this frame is that there's something written on the motorbike helmet of the thief. Let me start that again. There's something written on the motorbike helmet that the thief is wearing, but we can't quite make it out from this frame. So let's skip ahead and see if we can get a better shot.
The killer making his getaway.
Aha. Now, this is a better close-up of the helmet. Let's have a look at his... let's have a look at the logo that's written on the front.
A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful.
So there's a new clue. Waterloo Motors. And we can also look at the alarm as well.
The alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting, but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane or even Henri himself.
Okay. Next frame.
The painting was gone. That was me fiddling with the alarm.
So that's the next image is George after the theft. Examining the bare space on the wall where the painting once was.
I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. That was the last shot. I probably learned everything I could from the CCTV.
Okay, so I think we can exit this particular screen now. So what we've gleaned from the CCTV is that we have a lead on the thief himself, which is that he's wearing a helmet that has Waterloo Motors written on it. Let's take a look at the desk. So there's a few things to examine on Henri's desk here. It's very... it's quite a nice desk, to be fair. Let's have a look. So there's some pins on the left-hand side. Let's look at those.
There was a box of thumbtacks on the desk. I didn't like the idea of a pocket full of sharp pins.
So I can't pick those up, but George, you've put weirder things than that in your pocket over the years. I promise you. Let's see. There's some business cards for the gallery.
The business card listed the gallery's details. I didn't need a business card.
Okay, doesn't want one of those either. There's a nice-looking Zippo lighter.
It was a corroded lighter. The lighter was corroded and grimy. It'd probably never work again. I decided to leave it.
We also have an ink pot.
It was liquid ink. I had no idea they still sold this stuff.
I don't think I can take this.
Carrying an ink pot around inside my pocket would have been stupid. The ink would have stained my hands for days.
Yeah, your decision-making process will forever be a mystery to me, George. And some various other items. We've got a roll of tape and an eraser.
It was an Erasertron. I loved those. I didn't feel the need to take Henri's eraser.
But we can't pick it up. And there's a roll of tape as well, which has got fragile written on it.
It was a reel of fragile tape. I didn't want to carry the tape around. I had a feeling I wasn't going to need it.
And that seems about it. The only other thing I think to look at is the copy of La Liberté newspaper on the right-hand side of the desk, which, as the eagle-eyed among you will know, is the newspaper for which Nico is a journalist for.
It was the paper that Nico wrote for. Nico lived for the day her story would be on the front cover.
Okay, so there's also a desk drawer that we can interact with here. So
it was a standard drawer.
So we can pull this out, and inside is a blue folder.
There was a document folder in the drawer. There was nothing else in the drawer.
Okay. So he's extracted from the drawer a blue folder or notebook, it seems, with a logo on the front that says the Hairy Lobsters, which is clearly like, this band he was either a part of or that he was a fan of. So let's take a look at it.
The document folder had a Hairy Lobsters sticker on it. I had no idea what was inside.
Well, let's find out, shall we, George?
The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence.
So on the front page of the document, what we have is a logo that seems to pertain to some kind of security company, because it has a picture. The icon has a picture of a CCTV camera, and under the icon it says Vera, you're in good hands. So clearly a corporate logo. Let's take a look.
It was the security installation note from the company that Henri had used. It was a completion of work notice from a company called Vera Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit. I'd never heard of Vera Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form.
Oh, here comes Navet.
Monsieur, sir, you have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
So we can say, we can tell the truth or we can tell a lie. So let's be mischievous and tell a lie.
I'm just looking for the name of the caterer. That cheese was to die for.
Ah, to die for? To kill for. I put it to you, monsieur. Monsieur
Stobart. George Stobart.
I put it to you that you came here in search of cheese and killed the owner in a fromage-induced frenzy.
Well, no. I'm from Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Time will tell, monsieur.
Truth will out, Inspector.
Who dares wins, Monsieur Stobart.
He who laughs last laughs loudest, Inspector Navet. The guy was seriously nuts.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course, but I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
Okay, so we can have a chat now with Inspector Navet about a few different things. So let's ask him a few fun ones first. Let's ask him about the aftershave.
Here, smell this.
If you think you can bribe me with expensive parfum de toilette, monsieur, you are mistaken.
And the nail clippers.
Look at these nail clippers.
Perfect for disabling the alarm. You are sticking your American nose into my little French noose, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay. So let's have a chat with him about the security setup at the gallery here. So I'll ask him about the CCTV first.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, pal?
Okay, so we can also ask him about Vera Security, so let's give that a try.
Do you know anything about a company called Vera Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation. Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
Oh. Well, we've been given our marching orders.
I had some valuable leads, but before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Mo?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
Two coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Navet bought it.
I think Navet would buy anything if it had blood on it. You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
So, after Nave had ordered us out of the office, we had a brief rendezvous in the main gallery area with Nico before he came out of the office himself and ordered everybody out. After which, George and Nico have retired to the cafe from the last episode to sort of catch up, and that's the cafe called Le Tricolore. So we're going to have a chat with Nico and find out what's what. So let's talk about the theft itself first and foremost.
Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
Go on.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La maledictio.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it.
Let's ask about Father Simeon.
Well, the priest thinks La Maledictio is evil.
Charles, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on.
Let's ask her about the Vera Security completion note.
The security firm that Henri used was not the one I recommended.
Well, that's understandable. I've been to restaurants that you recommended.
I've got their address. Maybe they can tell me who could have had access to that alarm.
Let's ask about Waterloo Motors.
The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Georges?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life.
So, after that little pleasant catch-up and tete-a-tete with our old friend Nico, it's funny because, just to digress a little bit, I was watching an interview with Rolf Saxon yesterday, who's the voice actor who plays George Stobart, and he was taking questions in like an open forum sort of way. And one of the questions was, are Nico and George romantically involved? Because it's never really explicitly stated. And his answer was, well, it's sort of up to you to decide whether or not, you feel that they were, or maybe they're just friends or partners. I think it's really interesting that it's left open-ended like that. So, anyway, so we're now in the map screen, so we can go to a few places, but we're going to go and have a look at Vera's security. So let's go there. Click that.
The address led me to a dead-end alley at the end of a deadbeat mall. No wonder I'd never heard of Vera Security.
So one of the things that I did yesterday, or I noticed yesterday, that the audio levels felt like they were a little bit off. Now, so I put the music and the speech up a little bit, but now they feel a little bit loud. So if you're watching this and you feel like the balance is off, some feedback would be useful, particularly if you're, audio based only. Any feedback on the sound levels would be very, very useful. So anyway, I digress. So George has entered sort of what to me I would call a shopping arcade, which is, if you were in the US, you'd call it a strip mall, I suppose. It's very ornate. There's all sorts of, ornate, what's the proper word for this? Like architecture, if you like, across the top of the roof, very Parisian, obviously, but it's very quiet. There doesn't seem to be anybody here. On the right-hand side, this buzzing that you can hear is a neon sign that doesn't seem to be wired up correctly, and it is buzzing with electrical static. Just down on the right-hand side of that screen is a young man who seems to be rubbing his forehead in front of his stall. Seems to be selling various bric-a-brac and the such like. And on the left-hand side, there's an empty shop at the top of the mall, and a little bit further down, there's our destination, which is Vera Security. So let's have a little look around first. Let's check out the empty shop.
The place looked like it had been out of business for a while.
Let's have a look at the sign.
The neon sign buzzed and blinked horribly.
Yes, we can hear it. There's an electrical box up at the top of the, just above the empty shop. Let's have a look at that.
The aircon went nicely with the Art Deco detailing.
I'm not 100% sure I'd call that Art Deco, George, but whatever. Let's not get stuck on semantics. Let's have a look at this stall holder.
The guy managed to look busy, even though he had no customers.
And let's have a look at some of his goods.
The stall was a myriad of retro kitsch. Bottle stoppers, keychains, musical cards.
Let's have a chat with him, shall we?
Hi, I wonder if you can help me. I'm looking for Vera's security.
Yes, of course. It's the shop behind you.
Thank you. The name's George, by the way.
Call me Bassam. And do please forgive me, but I'm in no mood to talk. I have a resounding headache.
I think that's what they call a migraine, isn't it, Bassam?
Bad migraine, eh?
The worst. The buzzing and flashing from the old sign is killing me. I thought the neon sign had potential until it broke.
Is it your sign?
No, the previous owners used to be a restaurant. But this is horrible. Adversely affecting my footfall and giving me a splitting headache.
Let's ask him about the neon sign.
You want me to try fixing that sign for you?
Do you know what you're doing?
I'm very good at fixing things.
Then please do. I'm no good at electricals. Marketing analysis and predicting trends is more my thing.
Very interesting. Let's exit out of this for now. And we'll leave the sign for a little bit later. Let's go and check out Vera's security.
Vera's security. It was the place I'd been looking for.
Help!
What's wrong?
There's a monster
What? Where?
on the floor. Get rid of it.
Oh, the cockroach.
Yes, the cockroach. Help!
So, having entered into the Vera security building, it's a rather dilapidated, Middle Eastern informed single room, it seems, with a sort of a counter at the front, behind which stands a what's labelled as hysterical woman in a sort of a mustard coloured outfit with a pink headscarf, waving her arms around because there's a cockroach on the floor. So it's a strange scene. Let's have a little look around. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just address the elephant in the room, or the cockroach in the room, shall we say? Let's take a look at it. He's scuttling around on the floor. Let's take a look.
The reason for the lady's distress was plain. A giant cockroach roamed the floor. Come here, little fella.
So the cockroach, when we click the cockroach, it takes us into like a close-up screen of the floor, and this thing is happily sort of scuttling around the tiled floor, and there's some crumbs quite close to the counter, which has obviously attracted the creature. So let's take a look at those.
There were crumbs on the floor. No wonder the cockroach was sticking around.
No, stop! I want to look at you.
I think cockroaches are kind of cute. But only kind of.
Well, this one's not too bad, to be honest with you, but I don't think I'd want one in my pocket. But I think you're going to go against that rule, aren't you?
I was never going to catch it with my bare hands.
So, we're not going to be able to pick him up, essentially. I don't think we've got anything in our bag that would help us. So let's exit out of this and have a little look at the wider room. So there's a few things we can look at and interact with. There's a radio by the door that we just came through. Let's take a look at that first.
Annette had her radio on. Sounded like a horse race.
Well, that's interesting that she's called Annette, because we don't know that yet, but you've just told us. So thanks for that. Let's see if we can do anything with the radio.
Leave that that radio alone and sort this damn cockroach.
Excuse me, are you under the impression that I work for you or something? Like, what? I've literally just walked in here. Unbelievable. So, let's take a look at her.
She looked pretty scared.
There's a drawer just to the left of the counter. Let's take a look at that.
The office drawers. Well, there might be something useful in there. There was a huge cockroach in the way.
Well, he's hardly in the way, is he, George? Come on. There's a table on the left-hand side of the door. Let's have a look at that.
It was a small table with an ashtray on it. Unusual these days.
So on the table, there's an ashtray and a screwed-up cigarette packet. Let's take a look at the ashtray first.
The ashtray was full of cigarette butts. The filters were gold-colored. Very exotic.
Okay. Well, what else is it going to be full of? I wonder. Let's check the cigarette pack.
A crumpled cigarette pack. Romanovs. A Russian brand cigarette. The pack was empty.
And under the cigarette packet, there's a matchbox.
A full matchbox. As a child, I'd always been told not to play with matches. But I never could resist.
Me neither. I got into such trouble playing with matches when I was younger. All the time. Naughty boy. Right, so I think it doesn't take a genius to work out that now we have a matchbox, we could probably use it to capture the cockroach. But I think actually I might have missed something. I think we need to empty the matches out of the matchbox first and foremost. Otherwise, there's no room for it.
I emptied the matchbox, but decided to hold on to the matches.
There we go. So now we have an empty matchbox. So let's go back to our friend and Mr. Cockroach over here. Alright, there he is, still scuttling around.
I couldn't catch it just by swiping at it. I'd need to entice it closer.
So we can't just do it with the matchbox itself. So let's try and mix the matchbox with the crumbs.
I set down my matchbox. Cockroaches like hiding in dark places. Not a bad idea when you think about it. Cockroach wasn't going for it. I needed some bait.
So we've set down the matchbox right by the crumbs, hoping that he would come for the crumbs and then we could just slam the matchbox shut. But it still doesn't seem to be working.
The box needed some bait.
So we need to start thinking outside the box or outside the matchbox. Let's have a chat with her and see what she says.
Hello, I'm... Cockroach! I see the little beggar.
So she's not going to talk to us until the cockroach is dealt with, essentially. So we're going to need to think of something else here. Let's exit this area. And let's go back and talk to our friend Bassam with a headache. So we've got a couple more topics that we can talk about. Let's ask about the cockroach first and foremost.
Could you help me with a vermin problem, please?
Please, Mr. Stobart, I really can't deal with other people's problems right now.
Okay. Short, sharp, and to the point. Let's ask about Vera's security, see what he knows about them.
Do you know anything about Vera's security over there?
Not really. I haven't been here long, but neither have they by the looks of it.
Why do you say that?
Rush setup, new sign, low investment, and no customers except for you.
Okay, let's have another ask about the neon sign again.
I could take a look at your sign, come up with something.
You are like a genie from a magic lamp.
Okay, so not really much to do there. So all that's left to do is to have a look at the neon sign and see if we can help somehow with this, because that's clearly, you know, the activator to progress. So let's take a look at it.
I took a good look at the sign. The wiring was exposed and the cover broken. No wonder it was flashing.
So what we have here, we've got into another sort of close-up screen. We have what essentially amounts to a puzzle. This is like a neon sign with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters, all glowing in random order. At the moment, it says Salad Dinde, Salade space Dinde. Under those glowing and flashing letters, we have like a panel case, if you like, for the the internal wiring of which the left-hand side is broken, and we can pick up the loose wire. Not really much else to interact with other than that. So let's pick up the loose wire.
I pulled the wire off. Well, that was one way to stop the letters flashing. Now only half the sign was illuminated.
So we've had the wire added to our inventory, and 5 of the letters have stopped flashing. So let's see if we can go back and ask Bassam about that.
The buzzing and flashing has stopped.
And I'm very grateful. But the sign still looks pretty terrible, doesn't it? When you're building a brand from the ground up, name is everything. I need a name that makes my customers long for adventure and treasures from faraway places.
Let's see what he says.
I could take a look at your sign, come up with something.
You are like a genie from a magic lamp.
We did that one already. Let's ask Bassam about himself.
Tell me about your business idea.
This stall is going to put me through college while giving me field experience. But the nonsense sign is working against me. It should spell a name for my shop. I need something original, yet familiar, bright and in your face, yet subtle and symbolic.
He's probably going to say the same thing, but I'll ask him about the cockroach again.
Could you help me with a vermin problem, please?
I'm sorry, until I kickstart this business, I don't really have time for ancillary projects. I need a brand. A clear message that grabs my key demographic by the lapels and hurls them into my economic bailiwick.
Excuse me?
You know, a name that sounds magical and exotic, that appeals to a yearning they only feel subconsciously.
So he's given us a few clues here, really. I mean, Bassam is, a name that is, it comes across as Middle Eastern in origin. The way that the character is drawn, he clearly has that sort of Middle Eastern aspect to him. So he's sort of given us clues as to sort of what, how, he sees that the name should be. Now, some of the things that he's said, kind of sort of mark him out as, I don't know, maybe a marketing student or something of that nature. He's clearly studied for how to open up and run your own business, So, some of the language that he uses is very sort of, like an economics graduate or a marketing graduate or something along those lines. So what he wants us to do is to take the sign and rearrange the letters into something that spells out a new business name. So let's put some of that all together and see if we can figure out what's going to be a more, more snappy name for a business like his. So we're now in this back in the screen where the light, the lit up sign is the interaction screen for that, and we've got some instructions, and it says as follows: your objective is to rearrange the letters to form a new word that is appropriate for Bassam's predicament. The letters that form the new word need to be lit, so must be placed in the 7 sockets on the right hand side of the sign. Interact with the letter to pick it up, then move the letter over an empty socket. Interact again to drop the letter into that empty socket. So, we have...
Seemed the letters could be moved around.
So there's
Shame
one
didn't
space.
have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else.
So there's one space in the middle between the word salad with an E and D-I-N-D-E, Dinde, whatever that means. So we can only move one letter at a time. So let's put the E here. We'll put the N here. We'll grab the D, move that there. D-I-N. We'll move the D to the right. We'll move the E left. We'll move the A there. We'll move the E left. We'll move the L right. We'll move the E left. And if we move the A to the right,
Aha. That seemed like a good name.
we spell out in bright red
Hey,
letters
Basam,
Aladdin.
how about this? I know it's not your name, but
Aladdin. Very cool. That's a terrific name for my store. Hits every one of my USPs.
glad you like it.
You're a genius, George. Let me know if I can do anything for you.
Well, I'm sure I can think of something, Bassam.
Aha, Mr. Stobart. What can I do for you?
So, let's ask him about his stall.
So what are you selling?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. I sell all those things you can't get anywhere else in Paris.
Like...
English biscuits, Turkish delight, French cassettes, Brazilian Betamax videos.
What do you think?
I'm over the moon, George. Thanks to you, I can now sell my retro cavalcade of musical cards, brushes, souvenirs. And you know what they say, happy sellers make happy shoppers.
Indeed. See what he makes of our choice of business name.
I really like your new sign.
It's magnificent. I owe you one.
Do you happen to know a good way to catch a cockroach?
To be honest, George, I'm better at questions on balancing budgets within a liberal economic framework. But as a layman, perhaps I could suggest you trap it? And please, whatever you do, don't squish it.
Why's that?
The entire family will catch the scent and arrive for the funeral.
Ooh, we don't want that.
We don't.
You need to find a container of some sort. Then I think add this.
Rich tea. What's that, a cookie?
The perfect cockroach biscuit. Dry, dull, unsatisfying, and yet curiously Moorish.
I'll give it a try.
Glad to help.
No, it's not a cookie, it's a biscuit.
Thank you for the cookie.
You're very welcome.
Okay. So let's exit this conversation. Now we have what we need. A fantastic biscuit, by the way, a rich tea, that we can use on the matchbox to trap the pesky interloper that we've got inside Vera Security. So let's go back in and examine the cockroach area. There he goes. Still scuttling around. Let's have a look at our bag here. Pick up the biscuit and use it on the matchbox.
I added some bait to the matchbox. Even I was finding it hard to resist that little trap.
Bang! We got him. In he goes.
Gotcha!
You are a gentleman and no mistake. I hate cockroaches.
Always ready to help a damsel in distress.
I bet you are. Can I help you?
Yes, please. Do you know if there's anyone in the office I can talk business with?
Yes, me, chérie. I'm Annette, the manager.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... The gloves. I just thought...
Ah, easy mistake to make. If you haven't been reconstructed, that is.
Oh, but I have been reconstructed. A number of times. From the ground up.
Right. Let's see if we can have a chat with her.
What can I do for you?
So, we don't have too many conversation topics, or relevant ones anyway, but we can ask about the gallery. So let's see what she knows about Le Lézard Bleu.
There's been a theft at Le Lézard Bleu. A painting's been stolen.
Shame. Still, I'm sure you'll get over it.
I believe your company set up the security.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
Didn't.
Did.
I've got all day.
But I didn't.
Okay, so she's playing hardball. Let's try the security completion note that we found in Henri's office.
It says here that Vera was hired to do the security of the gallery. Didn't do a very good job, did you?
Where did you get that?
At the gallery?
That job was signed off. You can't say we were to blame.
I was getting a bad feeling. The place looked like a front, and the only person there wasn't helping. Maybe the office itself could give me more information.
Are you done? Only I want to listen to this next race.
Right. So she's not having it, is she?
Thanks.
So we're going to need to think of a different way to get her to open up a little bit. Let's just check what's in this drawer first.
The office drawers. There might be something useful in there.
Look, do you mind not touching the office equipment?
Annette's peripheral vision was, quite simply, astounding.
That is pretty good, considering that she didn't, she's staring straight ahead and not looking anywhere close to where we are. But there you go, suspension of disbelief and all that. Now there is something on the bottom of the drawer that looks like a dead rat, and it says stretch goal, which I'm assuming is something to do with the way that this game was funded, because it was it was a massive Kickstarter project way back in, crikey, I don't even know when it came out, 2013ish. That's a guess, but let's see what it says. No, I can't do anything with that. I'm assuming that must be for some kind of special edition investors or something along those lines. So, what else is there here? Because there's a black book in front of her. Let's just examine that and see if that's got any relevance.
It was a little black book, and they are always interesting.
So I wonder what's in that.
Hands off, mister.
Can I just have a look?
Certainly not. That book is very private.
So we could probably do with having a look at that black book, couldn't we? But it seems like Annette is, she's not going to let us have a look at it until we find some way to distract her. So let's move over here and get our phone out. And we can call Vera Security and see if we can distract her that way.
Hello, Vera Security. We make you secure. Wrong number again. Damn nuisance calls.
I wanted to see what secrets the book might contain. There was a photo. Of course, I grabbed it.
So we used a very, very sneaky way to distract Annette there by phoning the Vera Security phone, which is on the desk. And then when she answers it, we then run down to the radio at the bottom of the counter and turn the radio off or change the channel, whatever, so that when she puts the phone down, she goes down to the radio to turn it back to her horse racing, whatever it is she's listening to, at which point we sneak a quick look at the black book and extract something from it. So let's look and see what we got. So we've got a photograph of Annette and guess who? Our friend Mr. Lane.
A very bad photo of Lane and Annette. That guy sure got around.
So we've now got something very, very useful that we can use to, progress the story. But I think for now we are done in this particular area. So if we
I decided to stay till I'd squeezed what I could from Annette.
Ah, okay. Maybe we need to ask her about that then. Let's just check if I've got another discussion I can have with her.
Yes.
Can I ask her about the gambling and the horse racing?
Are you betting on a horse?
No, I just like hearing the sound of hooves.
Oh, well, that's unusual.
Don't be an idiot. I got 50 euros on Lucky Break.
Ah, well, I hope you win.
So do I, chérie. So do I.
So let's ask her about the photo, because that's clearly the elephant in the room, isn't it?
Recognize this?
Hey, that's my photo.
That's you with Lane, I believe.
So what if it is?
What is he to you?
Oh, my Hector, that's what he is. My little Hector.
Yeah, I thought you said you had nothing to do with the gallery.
Look, here's how it is. I've only been here a few weeks. I had nothing to do with that gallery job. I just delivered the paperwork.
So, who's the manager before you?
I don't know. She just, one day, didn't come in for work. I shouldn't be talking to you. The boss told me to keep my mouth shut.
So we've now got a new conversation topic, which is Vera Owner, which is like a black silhouette of someone with a question mark. So let's ask about that.
The boss. Have you got his number or address?
No, I've forgotten it. I mean, I never knew it.
Annette, a serious crime has been committed. You're in a lot of trouble.
I had nothing to do with it. Look, I need this job. I need the money. Anyway, it's only a silly old painting. No one got hurt.
Let's ask about Henri, which has opened up as a new conversation topic.
The gallery owner was shot.
Badly?
Yeah, he's pretty dead.
Oh.
This is a murder investigation. Now, who's your boss?
I don't know. Honest, he faxes me if he wants anything.
He? Who's he?
I've never seen him, never met him. Don't make trouble for poor Annette.
Thanks. I was pretty sure Annette had told me all she was going to. She sounded scared. Time to put the thumb screws on Lane, and I knew just how.
So now we've got him, that greasy, pompous wobbler. We've got something that we can use him to use on him to get him to talk. So let's
Time to
exit.
confront Lane.
And this will take us back to the world map, and we want to go to the gallery. So we'll click that.
The
And here we
gallery
are.
was sealed off. The place looked empty. Lane wasn't exactly easy to miss, and it looked like he wasn't around.
So we're back at out the front of Le Lézard Bleu once again, where we're going to look for our arch nemesis Lane, so we can confront him with the information that we've just received, which seems like a good place to end this episode, with no interference from any French bulldogs and everything. Absolutely fantastic. So if you've made it this far, I'd like to say thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you for the next episode. We're going to try and pick up a bit of momentum with this one. Obviously, if you know me and you know my situation, I'm going to be a lot busier in a couple of weeks, so let's try and get as much as we can done, you know, over the time that we have available. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Later.